Welcome to the Ordinary Marathoner podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Ordinary Marathoner podcast. My name is Coach Scott. I'll be your host today. It is Veterans Day, Wednesday, November 11th. Happy Veterans Day to everyone out there. Everyone, especially every family who served, any person who served or any family who's had a family member serve and had to give that sacrifice to your country. It's just an incredible sacrifice, and we wanted to thank everyone here. Anyone listening or, anyone member of the group, especially. Stephanie put a message up on the board last night, just kind of doing a roll call for people who had been in the military. And we got a lot of responses. I just want to run through the names because I do think you're worthy of recognition, and thanks for sure, from the Ordinary Marathoner family. Joseph Monreal, thank you for your service. Angela Fillmore, your father, I think he probably served in Canada, but we're gonna acknowledge that as well. We're pals, right? U.S. and Canada, we're still pals. I think the last time I checked, we're still allies. So thank your father for his sacrifice. June Walker, thank you so much, June. That's Grandma Junie, of course. Grandma Junie has a pottymouth.com. She supports us all the time. We've heard that you were in the Marine Corps, right? That's why you did the race, and your family too. You have a lot of family that's made the sacrifice as well. So thank you. Sarah Kornbaum's brother was in the military. Thank you for his service, Sarah. Ron Booz, obviously a U.S. Marine. Thank you, Ron, for your service. My father was Marine. I get it. I cannot talk about my dad without equating it to his Marine Corps service. It's just the two are synonymous, and I can't break that apart. Not that I try to, but I know how you feel, and I understand the sacrifice that you and your family has made. Tabby wasn't in the military, but obviously, if your husband was, you are, and your family was. You guys have a lineage of family members who've been in the military. So thank you for your service, your family sacrifice. Stephanie Brown, you listed a ton of family too. So thank you again for sacrifice in the service. Jacob Shepard, I didn't even know. Thank you for your service. He's Erin Shepard's husband. Erin, thank you for your sacrifice. James Bryan, him and his family, another one with just a family lineage of service. So thank you, James. Scott Fassard, I saw your father, the picture of your dad. It was awesome. And Scott knows his lineage back like 5 grandfathers, and he said his like 5 times grandfather served for the Union. At least you got the side right. In the Civil War. I don't know how you know something like that, but that's awesome. I think that's pretty cool. Thank you, Scott. Jeff Beeson, he's been a podcast guest multiple times, served in the U.S. Air Force, continues to do work for veterans. An amazing dude. Thank you, Jeff, for your service and your continued support of the military. And Don Hansen, thank you for your service as well. It was good to see. And you know what? I'm not shocked. When you think about endurance sports, you think about sort of the discipline that it takes to be successful and achieve goals in endurance sports. Where else do you think about what other activities or things that you think about can equate so directly to discipline as service in the military? I don't know. I haven't been in the military myself, but I hear they have a very good program that includes a lot of discipline. I don't know. Maybe it's just the movies I watch, but, man, it's no surprise. So thank you guys. And I think it only helps form sort of the backbone of our group and make it so much stronger and so much more supportive. So thank all of you guys from the bottom of my heart. And for Stephanie as well, and all of the Ordinary Marathoner family. Ron and Tabby, I got to thank you guys as well for becoming our first patrons over at Patreon. If you go check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/Ordinary Marathoner. We set that up. It really helps out the channel. We're looking to give back to you guys. So, if you donate at the lower levels, we will mention your name on the podcast. We could potentially add your name to the scroll at the end. That's something brand new that we started last podcast. You can win. You get things like free entries to the Ordinary Marathon, which, by the way, is coming up. We're doing the Ordinary Half. A lot of registration. We got a good amount of registrations. I'm really looking forward to November 27th through November 29. If you haven't registered yet, head on over to ordinarymarathon.com. Get registered. It's going to be a lot of fun. I tell you, I had one big announcement today. and it got delayed, and it's not our fault it got delayed. I don't even want to mention whose fault it is because they'll come after me, and I don't want. It's not the mafia or nothing bad like that, but it's delayed basically till next year. Hopefully early January we're going to get this announcement out, but we're working on it. Some of you guys know what we're working on. I was hoping to get it out. It's not going to affect any of the fun that we're going to have on this race. It's just going to affect some of the sort of the backdrop of it. It's not going to affect any of the charity things or anything like that. We're still moving forward. And looking forward to it. It's just I had this big thing to announce, and now I can't do it until January. Anyway, moving on. But anyway, thank you, Ron and Tabby, for becoming our very first patrons. It's so nice to get someone on the board. I put that up, and I'm thinking, you know me, I always get kind of nervous about stuff like that. But I like having it, and honestly, we can use the support, and thank you guys for supporting us. What else do we got here? Oh, our Zwift rides. That's the other thing that we did. We put out a little ad yesterday. I put some out on Facebook. The Zwift trivia rides. Our trivia rides, by the way, are exploding. We had about 20 people show up last Thursday. We got another full crew. It looks like a good crew coming out for tomorrow night. If you're interested in joining us for our Thursday night ride, 6:35 p.m. Eastern time, just reach out to me and I'll add you to our list if you're on Zwift for the cycling platform. That thing is just exploding. And because it was exploding and because we did all these rides and I'm sitting on all this trivia and all this stuff research that I've done to bring you guys these weekly trivia rides, we actually created workouts that are based off of the trivia. So if you're riding for an hour, especially if you're by yourself and you're just looking to pass the time, an hour can be a long time. I know sometimes in the morning when we're doing our workout rides, we hit that 45-minute mark and I'm like, oh, I got to stay here for another 15. There's got to be things that can help plant you in the seat for that full hour. So we made these trivia rides. They're 1 hour long. You can, if you're interested in downloading them, free to download. You just got to go to teamordinary.com, look in the shop, and check it out there. We have a lot of different ones, a lot of different trivia rides now. I think there's 4 of them up there. We're going to be adding some more as we go. So again, if you're on the Zwift platform and you're looking to do that, check it out. I think it's a really cool thing. We've had a few people download them and say they had fun with them. So hopefully just something that we're another creative outlet for us to continue, giving you guys and offering you guys some good stuff for working out. We're doing the early morning rides Thursday night. I think that's all for that, guys. The main thing, our number one topic of the day. And I'm kind of trying to figure out a way to get at this because it's such a great story. And, I saw it all over the place all weekend. A man by the name of Chris Nikic, 21 years old. He finished an Ironman over the weekend. And he finished it in 16 hours and I think 46 minutes under the 17-hour cutoff, which is hugely impressive. And what makes it more impressive, because right now you're saying, so what? Some guy did, some guy did an Ironman. They do it all the time. But what makes it extremely impressive is that Chris suffers from Down syndrome, which if you know the disease, and I think we all kind of know what it is. Look, I'm not a doctor. I don't know a lot of the specifics. I don't really have anyone in my family that suffers from it or has had to deal with it. And it's kind of like, I don't know, when I started thinking about it, it's almost like it's something we don't talk about enough. I mean, we do. I mean, yeah, we have Special Olympics. We have some avenues for this. We're all kind of sympathetic to it to a certain degree. But it's something we don't really talk about a lot. And I think a lot of us, and especially if you don't deal with it directly, you kind of write them off. You don't think they're capable of doing something like this. And that's one of the reasons why it's so important that Chris did it, is to prove to people that just because you have Down syndrome doesn't mean you can't do. I mean, this is an Ironman, guys, a full Ironman. And he has Down syndrome. Take a second and think about that. And think about the times in your life when you've seen people or dealt with people who've had Downs. And think about the accomplishment that it must take to get someone with Downs to focus for all the hours and days and months and probably years it takes to train, to get that person mentally ready for race day, to make sure they have the support that person needs to get through it. And it's not like he was in the raft and got pulled through the water, or he wasn't in, getting pushed in a cart, or he did this by himself. He did this by himself. It is amazing to me. And you know, I watched it, and I watched him go in the water, and I watched him swim, and I thought to myself, this kid's never going to get out of the water. I didn't think he was fast enough, and he proved me wrong. My concern watching him, I knew he was going for this, and my concern watching him was that he wasn't going to finish, and that it was gonna have a negative connotation to it, whether or not he put in a good effort. I mean, a lot of us understand how difficult this is, and look, I tell you what, if that kid got through that finish line in 17 hours and 30 minutes, I would have counted it, and I'm sure most of you would have too. The amount of accomplishment here, the bar has been set so high, so high by this kid. 21 years old too. I mean, when you guys see the finalists, right, the podiums for these Ironman Kona challenges, it's never a 21-year-old. It's always like someone in their 30s or even 40s. And it takes a mature body to finish one of these things and train for one of these things. That's why you don't see a lot of 18-year-olds winning, Kona. You just don't see it. So the age is probably the minor factor here, obviously. But this kid went out, and not only that, but he struggled through the swim, but he made it. He got into a bike crash. I think he got attacked by ants somehow. I don't know how, but he got attacked by ants at a stop. I don't know, but he made it, and watching him make it, and watching him run the last 2 miles was incredibly satisfying. And I like to think about, I mean, I remember, so when my first daughter was born, my ex-wife was in her late 30s, and I remember they gave us this sheet of paper, because it's like that thing, right? It's the one thing that you fear. It's the one thing that you fear is that your kid's going to have Downs. And I hate to say it, but you go in the office and they give you a piece of paper, and I remember them saying, and I'm just making these numbers up because I don't really remember, but it was like, if you were in your mid-20s, if the mother was in her mid-20s, the chances of the child having Downs is like 1 in 1,000. But as that mother gets older and older, and say like they're mid to late, probably late 30s, it's like 1 in 100. And so it doesn't really sound like a lot. Like 1 in 100 still seems like a long shot, but the odds go way up the older the mother gets. And they were showing us this paper, and it frightened you. It frightened you. And if there's one takeaway, I think, that is sort of understated in this whole thing, if there is one takeaway, the fear that you have as a parent of a newborn, or, the fear that you have of this disease doesn't have to be that way. I mean, I would have never thought that someone with Downs would be able to accomplish a full Ironman. I'm just being honest. I would have never thought. And so I am blown away by this. I think it's such an amazing accomplishment. And I think for all of you parents out there who have a child with Downs, it's just something to look at and say, wow, there's something to aspire to. And yes, listen, there are different levels of Down syndrome. I understand this. And again, I'm not a doctor. So it may not be a realistic goal. Listen, we talk about realistic goals all the time. I talk with my athletes about realistic goals. Even with perfectly healthy people. What's a realistic goal for you? How long are you going to be able to train? Whatever the factor may be. And I understand that an Ironman for everyone who has Down syndrome is probably not a realistic goal. But man, this has to make you feel good. It has to make you feel like, hey, it's not, it doesn't have to be completely inhibiting. You can look at it as if there are things to achieve, things to accomplish, the right support system in place. This kid finishes a full Ironman. Near tears, guys. Near tears. My daughter says to me the other day, she says, "Dad, I've never seen you cry." And then, all right, yeah, macho man thing, right? That's just not something I do. Although if I ever watch Father of the Bride, I probably will. She's got to get me in like a good movie. But man, it was pretty close watching this kid get through the finish line, man. What an incredible accomplishment. And it's not just for him. It's not just for him. It's the ripple effect that it sends through to everybody. And I especially think this day and age, we kind of all need something to smile at and to be happy about. Something that you can say, hey, man, we talked about accomplishment at the last podcast, right? We talked about Angela's marathon and how while everyone else is crying and complaining about how they lost their A race and how they have nothing to train for and how it's been really hard, she was able to go out there and accomplish something and look at it as an opportunity. Well, this is another guy that looked at it as an opportunity. And boy, did he ever take advantage of it. So congratulations, Chris. I think it's awesome. I think it's amazing. I think you are incredible. I think your family's incredible. And I think, I hope that you guys realize the scope of what you've done and how it is going to affect other people and how it is going to raise their spirits and think, hey, this doesn't have to be, the sentence that it makes it out to be. It's not a full negative thing. It's not. There can be sunshines and rainbows facing this disease, and the whole country just saw it over the weekend. And when we need a reason to smile, and you need a reason to kind of say wow, and just be in awe. We say the word awesome all the time, and we've really just totally destroyed the definition of the word awesome. It means to be in awe, right? And you say, oh, this coffee is awesome. It's coffee. It's not awesome. But what Chris did this past weekend, that was awesome. That was awesome. And I just give it up to you, man. I think it's incredible. And again, I just think that the ripple effects throughout, everyone watching it, everyone feel good about it. Everyone just embrace it. And this day and age where everyone wants to fight each other and get mad at each other and everyone's sad and upset and depressed. This kid did it. He did it in the worst year possible, and he did it. And it's just amazing. And I think, all right, I gotta stop. But you get the picture. I could talk about this all day, and I will sit here and just say it's awesome, and because it is. Because you know what? We use the word awesome for everything. This is actually something that is awesome. Embrace it, love it, and got to give credit where credit is due. So, all right, I'm good. All right. I think we're going to wrap it up today. I know it's a little bit early, a little bit light on the podcast material today. I truly thought I was going to talk about this for a long, long time. And I think I did, but I thought it was going to be longer. Anyway, go sign up for Ordinary Marathon, ordinarymarathon.com. Check it out. It's only $10. Not only do you get the race, the Ordinary half on November 27th through 29th, you also register for our Ordinary Marathon event, the 10-day event in the spring. Guys, I need participation here because I want to put that slideshow together so bad, and I need photos, I need pictures, I need tons of them, and we only have 3 days to do it. So get out there, register for the race. You're going to be part of something special, I promise. And that's all I got for you today. And remember, every day is an ordinary day unless you make it extraordinary. So get it, Chris Nikic. He made it extraordinary over the weekend. Get after it, guys.